Hello there again, everybody. This is going to be Jund League number 104, and I still can't get Ragavans. There are over 100 tickets now, and Mana Traders still cannot stock them because there just aren't enough copies that exist yet, apparently. So, still not playing Ragavans. Still want to, but still not. So instead, we're still just playing the 3 copies of Doth the Voidwalker and a new exciting card that I'm not convinced is a staple quite yet, but it's definitely going to have its good spots and formats where it's going to really shine. And then still playing 2 copies of Grist the Hunger Tide. This is a card that's really impressed me. Grinding is not necessarily something that Jund has really had an issue with. So when it comes to finding something to play and to play Grist over, I think Grist it just kind of does the job better, the grinding job that is. So I was able to take out some of the other grindy tools in order to put in the better grindy card, which I believe is Grist. And then out of the sideboard, the new card is Void Mirror. There are lots of free spells decks going around right now, namely the 2 versions of Cascade that either cascade into Living End or cascade into the Rhinos. So this is going to be good versus that. And we're also maybe going to bring it in versus the various Urza decks, because Urza is a huge problem. And this can stop the cards being cast off of the Urza, which is an easy way for an Urza opponent to run away with it. So let's take a look at the modern metagame as it sits today. This is the 7-day refresh rate, so this is what is most common in the most recent 7 days. Modern Horizons has been out for about 2 weeks now, so this is what we're looking at as far as the past 12 weeks is concerned. And then my usual 1 month refresh rate, here we see that. Alright, let's just jump into the games. And Feste333, thanks for the Prime sub, I really appreciate it. Always welcome, but never required. Really appreciate it. Well, if we could guarantee a land we're on top, this hand would be really good. I think I'm keeping this on the draw, but on the play, it's a lot sketchier. I'm going to ship. This is better. I'm going to bottom one of the 2 fetches here, and then I could lead on Inquisition, and then I've got the Forgotten Cave to start going off with the Ren and 6. So I'll bottom a fetch and be on my way. And it is already Ponza, or I guess that's Mono Red Devotion. That's something new that I had seen being starting to pop up. So Stone Rains look a lot weaker given that we've got the Ren and 6. This only hits creatures though. I mean, Stone Rains really just don't do a lot as long as I've got my Ren and 6. So I think I'm still just gonna take the creature. And then this will get Overgrown Tomb probably. The Delthies have been fine. They haven't been super impressive. And then Festus has been watching for a few months now. This is the first time he caught me live. I appreciate your support. Really do. And what's up, Gray Fox? So we'll Overgrown Tomb into the Ren and 6. Make their Stone Rains look a lot worse. And now I'll start playing around Blood Moon. I couldn't get basic Forest there, but now I'll get my basic Swamp. Oh no. The Ragavan. A lot worse versus Ren and 6 when I can just get pinged. But I mean, they'll still get to make the treasure here, right? Which is the annoying part. I guess we could Inquisition it away, but also having Lightning Bolt makes it a little bit makes us a little bit safer. They're gonna get to Chandra here, which is pretty unfortunate off of this treasure. Alright, so this is for sure happening though, so let's just get this out of the way. I could also just cycle the Forgotten Cave now and try to find something like a Tarmogoyf. That actually seems like it's a good idea. The issue there, though, is if the opponent dashes Ragavan again, we don't actually have the black mana to be able to combat it. We don't have any 1-drops of our own, so I think I'm still just going to commit towards Inquisitioning and buying back the Mire. But I guess we could always Inquisition first to get some info. So they've got Stone Rain, Ragavan. I guess we'll just take the Ragavan now. And Cataracts. Maybe they're playing never remember the name of the stupid card. The 3/5 that, like, has a Wooburg ability. Alright, so I guess they're almost definitely just going to Chandra here, which means that I don't really need to hold up Lightning Bolt. So let's cycle the Cave, because maybe I find a Thoughtseize. Found a Voidwalker. Well, that's not a Thoughtseize. I'll just go ahead and buy back the Cave. And then say go. Yeah, not having a creature in play to threaten the Chandra is unfortunate. I mean, had we cycled first, maybe we would have been able to hit it. But then I was still worried about the Ragavan, so it's not super clear. Or they just hit us. Alright, so I think I need to be able to pressure this Chandra. So I think the plan is going to be play a Voidwalker. We don't know that they've got an answer to it. I could use the Renin 6 to ping the Chandra so that if they minus the Chandra, we can then use the Renin 6 on the Chandra and keep the Lightning Bolt. That might be something I'm interested in, especially because instant speed removal might be really relevant versus stuff like this. So I guess I could play Voidwalker, hold up Lightning Bolt, play Forgotten Cave, minus the Renin 6 onto the Chandra. That means I'm no longer looping the Forgotten Cave, but I need to develop my mana while developing the board, so I think it's kind of just what I have to do. So let's go there, play this, and then just play the Forgotten Cave, hold up the Bolt. They could always Stone Raid me first, but then they're not playing a creature that I have to deal with. No, not Boom Bust. It's an artifact creature. It's really sweet and cube. I'll remember it eventually, or they'll probably just end up playing it. It like tutors a land when it comes into play. Ooh, Pyromancer's really bad for me. Well, I guess Voidwalker does have Shadow. They get to convert their Stone Rains into something useful though, which is bad for me. What did they exile? I guess it goes with Void counters. Yeah, just double Stone Rain. So if I want the Chandra to die, I do need to bolt it and then attack it. I can't attack it and minus Renin 6 a couple of times, so I think I just have to bolt the Chandra. Yeah, let's do it. Maybe we get a Chandra of our own going in a couple turns. Fatal Push is interesting. Alright, so we only know about Cascading Cataracts. I think I'm going to need to hold the Terminate for something like a Glorybringer. So let's kill a Chandra. No, not Psalm. It costs 5. It's from Kaladesh. Please, no Lightning Bolt. Can't believe I can't remember the name of that. I can never remember the name of the card. Alright, so I think I am using Renin 6 to destroy an elemental. If they go everything at the Renin 6, I could then maybe just terminate to save it then. To save the Renin 6 then. Alternatively, I could just play the Liliana, still kill an elemental, and then just hold up a removal spell. If I hold up push, I can't actually kill the Pyromancer though, and then they're going to get to kill Liliana. No, not the Gear Hulk. Gear Hulk costs 6. Or the black one costs 5, right? I can't remember the name. It's a 3/5. When it enters, you search for a land, put it into play. And then you can pay Wooburg +2 to exile the top 3 and like play them for free. So if I don't hold up Terminate here, I could definitely just get Glorybringered, and I don't think I can win from there. I think Liliana isn't impactful enough where I could just not play the Liliana. Golos, that's the stupid thing. Thank you. It was nagging at me. So if they go both at the red and 6, I'll Fatal Push Elemental. I don't have Revolt, so I have to do it this way. Yeah, Golos, that's the one. Was it a core set? I could have sworn it was Kaladesh, but I could be wrong. Alright, so red and 6 goes to 1. Blood Moon. Alright, well, I guess we can still cast Terminate, and we can also still cast a Chandra, which might be good. So we have a Chandra that we can cast, that's it? Well, as far as, like, sweet things. Honestly, Chandra might be the way to go. We can terminate this to defend, but then we don't have this versus something like a Glorybringer, but at this point we're probably just not beating the Glorybringer. I guess we have to tap out of Terminate in order to cast the Chandra, because we still have to pay the mana for this. Like I could Voidwalker play Chandra minus to kill this, but that seems like a pretty bad use of mana, and like actual anything blows me out. Not a great spot to be in. I mean, they didn't have the Glorybringer last turn, so maybe they just don't have it, and I could maybe freely just terminate this. Yeah, let's get an attack. Thing is, though, like, in the absence of relevantly colored mana, I think I just like have to save this Terminate for something big so the Voidwalker can cast something big. But I mean, something to be said about keeping red and 6 alive by terminating this. So do I just let the red and 6 die? Kind of think that I do, to be honest. I mean, they didn't Glorybringer now, so maybe they just don't have it, and keeping this alive has some value. Yeah, it's not ideal. Also, I mean, killing it while I've got Voidwalker in play means that it's exiled too, which is nice. They could obviously have like killed this in response, which would have been terrible. That's also pretty bad for me. I mean, Pyromancer's alive though, so we're gonna have to kill some of the tokens. Oh, they just had lands. I guess lands make sense. Maybe they didn't play a Ragavan there. Gwaif would usually be a pretty good one, but we don't have a green source. So if I Chandra now, it just like doesn't matter, right? Like my hand's just like all uncastable. I guess I could Pyromancer, but I mean I'm really not digging towards much. I think I just have to attack. But thing is, like, then the red and 6 is dying. But this can't block it anyway. So like the question becomes, can I put something in my opponent's yard that's better than a Chandra? I don't think so. I could like plus the Chandra for mana, but it doesn't do anything. It only makes red. I guess plussing this means they have to attack it with an additional thing. Yeah, I mean, Chandra Plus is an option, but they're going to be able to attack it down pretty easily, and this is a clock that's just as good. I mean, I guess it does just buy me more time. Yeah, this buys me some more time. So, Chandra. Because, like, this at least may be able to split their attention. So... exile the top card. We would love like a Bone Crusher or something. Oof. No green. Yeah, Bone Crusher would have been the best possible. Yeah, you can't bake it. You can't get any lands from Chandra. Yeah, even if we had basic forest, they can maybe just Stone Rain it, which would be bad. Yeah, I'm trying to get them good top decks. Our best top deck is just basic forest at this point, right? Kind of having to hope that they're flooding. Colon's Command's a castable one. I think I'm just gonna go up again. We found the Bone Crusher. Excellent. So I guess we just stomp this, cast Bone Crusher. That puts us to 1 mana. So if they just activate the Pyromancer in the turn, we can block 1. Renin 6 will still die. That's probably fine though. I want all my resources to convert to something. Like I could have just played it as a 4/3 and still hold up the Kolaghan's Command. But I think I want everything I have to do something. Alright, just plus on nothing. Again, still needing the opponent to get unlucky. Yeah, killing them with their own Chandra would be quite funny. There's not really a good place to put this window. I can't even collapse it. Yeah, there are a lot of things that the opponent could have that'd be very bad for us. Whatever costs 6 is definitely on the list. Don't know what costs 6 out of this. Like, they can't possibly be playing Inferno Titan, can they? That would be funny. We could actually kill the Inferno Titan by minusing and Kolaghan's commanding. That'd be using just about everything we've got. Just like Chandra of your own, maybe? Oh, okay. So they can kill the Bone Crusher with this. Makes sense. Yeah, Ragavan as well. Yep. So we can use Kolaghan's command to buy back Bone Crusher, which is big game. Yeah, they're just wanting to make sure they can kill a Renin 6 through a Lightning Bolt, which makes some sense. Ragavan does not trigger though. So I guess we're plussing Chandra again. If I make mana with Chandra, I'll have a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, which I only need 8 to Kolaghan's command, plus Stomp, plus Bone Crusher. So I mean, if I Kolaghan's command this, buy back this, stomp this, play that, Chandra still gets hit by Ragavan, but I get to block it for basically free, and it forces them to throw stuff into the Chandra, again, assuming they've got nothing. So I think I'm just making mana, because no matter what I reveal, it can't possibly be better than just making this play. This takes away the surprise, but I mean, it is what it is. So let's make mana. Alright, so return a creature, shock something. So we'll return Bone Crusher, shock this. Then we can go stomp one of these. I guess we'll play the land, play the Bone Crusher. And then say go. So if they want to dash a Ragavan, we can block it. Then Elemental will take 1. We'll hit the Chandra and keep it off ultimate. I mean, an ultimate isn't even the end all be all. We still have to draw spells that we can cast. But I mean, they have to deal with it somehow in some capacity. There are still just lots of things that would put us far behind. Like, I imagine just more Flame Tongues would be pretty bad for us. Anything at the top end, I'm assuming, like Glorybringer, would also be pretty terrible for us. So they're ditching their Agavan. And a Moon. Chandra of Your Own. Alright, so Chandra of Your Own gets to kill Bone Crusher. So that means we're probably dead. Close one, though. We almost had it. If only we had a Lightning Bolt here. I mean, we still have a Chandra in play. We can find something. Not that, though. Another Blood Braid. Alright, you win. Brutal. Yeah, Green Source would have made that game very different, but I never had a window to get it. I never had a green fetch land. Even the fetch land that I bought was just another Blackleaf Cliffs. Alright, so versus Mono Red. Is Force of Vigor a consideration enough only for Blood Moon? I'm not certain. Liliana, though, does seem quite bad versus the opponent, so I think it's probably just better than that to start. I guess Brutality is better than the other cards. Maybe even Spellbomb better, because it redraws, it can mess with Seasoned Pyromancer. But I mean, if they just have creatures in play, Brutality is the way to kill them, and that might just be more relevant. It's not great, but I think it's probably better than the alternative. So really gonna put a priority on finding basics, but their Stone Rains make it awkward. So Renin 6 is the key here. We don't have the Renin 6, but we've got a fast Tarmogoyf or two before they can Stone Rain us, and we've got a Force to deal with Blood Moon. Grist as well. Yeah, this is looking like a keep. I could still just hedge and get basic Forest, but with the presence of Force of Vigor, I feel like I probably just don't have to do that. And basic Forest also just doesn't cast Terminate, so Forest is kind of bad in this hand. So I'm gonna, I think, Overgrown Tomb into Goyf, hope they don't just like bolt it or something. I guess even Flame Tongue Yearling would do it too, so it'll be curious to see if I even want to cast it. Is Terminate really that important? In this matchup, I don't think so, but it's better than the other sideboard cards that we've got, so I don't think I'm taking it out. Opponent is tanking on their turn 1. So yeah, the nut draw here, still a Renin 6. Would love to be able to just get my basics anyway, despite already having the Force. Who knows, maybe Force will be good for hitting something else. Why do both Modern Horizon sets have to have great cards that are chase cards? I mean, I'm just happy to get great cards. Alright, let's get Overgrown Tomb. I took the Liliana's out, so double black's less important, but we still do have Voidwalker. Alright, and drawing the basic Forest is at least a little bit soothing. So I am worried about the Flame Tongue. It doesn't actually put anything in the yard when they play it. So Flame Tongue would just straight kill my Tarmogoyf pretty profitably. I mean, I guess I really could just wait. Yeah, I think I will. It's such a disaster if they have it, and it's not like they're stone raiding me on their third on the play here. I could just play Grist pretty uncontested, and I'll still have my forests to play the Goyfs. Yeah, I just really don't want to get one flame tongued. Like worst case, I just terminate whatever they do, and then Grist onto an empty board. If this is like Mind Stone, then I guess I get punished. Oh, that's bad. So this is indestructible. So this just straight kills my thing. Okay. Bad for me. Luckily, I've got the forest. Renin 6? Not a Renin 6. Alright, well, at least now Flame Tongue doesn't kill the Goyf, so let's play the Goyf. Yeah, I'm off Ignoble. I don't think it really provides anything meaningful to the strategy, and I would like to try the Monkey still, but I still have not been able to get my hands on any. Stone Rain the non-forest. Interesting. Tarmogoyf squared. I mean, we've got a pretty decent amount of pressure here. And I think I for sure have to play second Goyf here over doing anything else, because if they play a Planeswalker and can kill a Goyf, I need to be able to pressure the Planeswalker on the way back. Kicked one time, so we'll do 3 damage. Yeah, that'll take care of one of them. Brutal. Well, we've got creature in the yard now. It's a land, not one we can use at the present moment. I guess we'll Inquisition. Maybe grow Goyf again. Well, we'll take that. They've got Glorybringer, though. Jeez, so that's going to be able to take out the Tarmogoyf without another type getting added. Not ideal. We'll have the Terminate for it after, but not before the damage is done. No Slaughter Pact in this list. Kolagon's command. I mean, that has us in the game. Their hand actually isn't that impressive. So if they've got mostly blanks, we could terminate into bringing back Goyf for the Kolagon's command. And I'm gonna use the Kolagon's command first because they are exerted for a turn. And if I find untapped land, I could terminate and Goyf at the same time. So let's return a Goyf Shock of Flame Tongue. And I have to terminate before I can play the Goyf. I guess Goyf now outsizes it. But still just don't want to get hit for 4. And we did hit it. That's pretty big. So I get to shock here, play Goyf, hold up, terminate. I don't think they're going to have any Veil of Summer type effects, so I'll just pass, do it at instant speed. What is this? Sure. So there's already instant and creature in the yard. I can't just like let them attack and then terminate to force to make them want to attack with these as well. I just have to terminate it before combat. Still lots of things that would be really bad for me. Oh, they're attacking? That's aggressive. Does another copy of Flame Tongue mean my Goyf dies? They have 6 mana. They could kick it twice, deal 4. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to hope they don't have it. I can't just take damage when they've got so much, like, haste, flying, burn. Like, if they've got it, they've got it. And it'll just be unfortunate. Yep, they got it. Brutal. Brutal, brutal. Another Goyf, though, is a good one. I almost wonder if it's just more worth it to play the Grist. It's more expensive on the mana, and I feel like just getting the Grist in play might also just be powerful. Because if I play the Goyf, I get to block on this pretty free. If I play this, I block it and it's not free, but I will have already cast the Grist. The benefit of casting the Grist is if next turn I draw another 2 mana spell, I get to double spell. But I think that's just about the only benefit. I guess Goyf just completely stonewalls an attack. Yeah, I'll Goyf. But I guess if they draw a Blood Moon, I'm out of casting the Grist. Yeah, I'll Grist. Flip a push. So I'll plan on blocking this. If they get this out of the way, I'm more concerned about my life total than the actual Grist surviving. And obviously I'll try to keep the Grist alive by blocking. Well, they do have nothing. And we drew the 2-drop. So far, so good. So I guess what I'm doing now is playing Goyf, making a thing, pinging this. I could buy back Verdant to get back basic Swamp, but I pull so far ahead just with the onboard, so if I can just play my hand. So I guess we get to lead here. Maybe we flip the other copy of Grist and make another insect. So let's do this. Ping that. Play that. And we're firmly ahead as far as onboard is concerned, but more Glorybringers and Seasoned Pyromancers would make me feel pretty dead. That shrinks the Goyf. Can still block the Flame Tongue with the insect. Jeez, Pyromancer. Okay, they're drawing pretty good now. I've been playing pretty slow. I guess they grew the Goyf again. I'll block with insect. And Grist is gonna feed our own yard again, because it does mill one. There's the moon. All right. Well, I mean, the first green card means we get to deal with this. Let's mill. Mill a land. Doesn't grow the Goyf, unfortunately. I guess we do get to just buy it back. We can't fetch, but at least we get to play it. They've got land already. Sarah redeemed posture check. Yeah, I did that. Thanks. More relics are annoying. Now I might have to just jump with the Goyf. Third relic. Yeah. I mean, they drew pretty soft in the beginning, so I guess it makes sense they're drawing well now. You haven't liked Grist? It's been quite good for me. Where do you send the knuckleheads? Just both at the Ren and 6? Sure. This would make sense if they've got like a Stone Rain or something. But I mean, I'm still just hoping to find a green sword, any green card. Oh, that's bad for me too. Deal me too. Yep. Ooh, we found Swamp. Doesn't actually do anything though. I guess if I sack past, I can kill this. Puts creature in the yard, which means I get to attack for 2, but it still doesn't really pressure the planeswalker very well. I think I just have to keep going up, trying to get lucky off of what I've milled. Hopefully it's not a planeswalker. Alright, it was a brutality. So now we're at a 2-power Goyf. So if I now attack, put this to 2, it can't minus anymore. They can plus it, put me to 3, attack me, put me to 1. Which means I have to kill this before they get another activation off. I mean, I think that's what I have to do, unfortunately. Because if I don't attack it, this just dies. And that's bad for me as well. Like, they can't minus it as is if I do this. And then just about anything off of the top will kill me here. Another Chandra. I mean, that Chandra is bigger than the other Chandra. This one gets to minus immediately, which does have them killing me. Yeah, those were some good games. I mean, the Blood Moon ended up being what hindered me in the end. They're going to attack? Block. I guess they're afraid of any removal spell. Bloodbraid's a good one. I guess we're just leading there. I guess plus first. Is there any chance that I want to sacrifice this? I guess there is a chance. But only after I attack. Let's just see what we hit here. We hit Thoughtseize. Well, I can't really cast that one, can I? So if I minus Grist, sacking this, kill Pyromancer, I can attack, but they can just use the Pyromancer to bring it all back. Yeah, so it's looking like that's not going to work out for me. I guess let's do this first then, see what happens. Hit a land. Yeah, I'll force the chump. They'll then just make the elementals. So, I mean, I think I am just dead. Pretty unfortunate cascade there. Because now they just get to do the thing. I go block, block, take 1, go to 2. This is still all assuming they draw pretty soft. They just drew lightning bolt. Yeah, that works too. That works too. To the next one. Yeah, I mean, I think the only real thing that I could have done differently there is there was that one time when I elected to block when their Flame Tongue could have then finished off the Goyf. The issue is, though, like, they're so likely to have another land that any other land means that they're just killing the Goyf anyway. Unless I have a way to reliably grow it, which I don't think I did. And I was already at 8, so I don't think I can just take the hit and go to 6 and just, like, let them have a bunch of creatures in play. So I still think a block is fine and just hope they don't have it. But that is something I could have done differently. Yeah, I can hit the Citadel and the Moon, but the Citadel is indestructible, so it would do a lot less on that front. Push in a Liliana, huh? Don't think that's enough, especially because removal might not even be good in the matchup. Better. Keep, I guess, just bottom Terminate. And then hope that we can empty our hand of all the discard. It's awkward that we don't have 2 black sources where we're pretty restricted to casting 1 a turn. Grist is a good find. Just lead here. is like prowess of some kind. They don't play Misty though, right? They only play red fetches. Oh, maybe it's a shadow variant. I guess it could also just be living end, which would make sense off of Misty. Yep, it's living end. So this matchup should be pretty horrendous as far as game 1 is concerned. Well, I guess we're going to take Violent Outburst and then take the other Violent Outburst next turn. They just have so much stuff that cascades that it hardly feels like it matters. Alright, well, we're thought seizing again. That's what I got. Drew the land, which is pretty lucky. So I think I still just have to Thoughtseize. It's awkward, but if I play a Planeswalker, they just flash in a Borrower and then attack it, and that's not good. So I guess if I Thoughtseize and Brick, at a minimum, I'll get to terminate the Brazen Borrower. I guess I'm getting basic Swamp. Or I guess I could, if that's the plan, I could always just cast the Thoughtseize off of the Peatland, because I'm using the mana anyway, and if they for whatever reason don't Brazen Borrower, I could then get a Painless Land with this. Alright, so if they draw literal nothing, you've got a chance. And I think I do want to do this now because I don't want them just casting a Force of Negation. So if they draw a literal no Cascade card over the course of like 6 or 7 turns, we've got a decent shot. Seems unlikely though. Let's get our clock going, which is the Grist in this case. Mill other Grist. No, we hit the Ren. Alright. You're up. And then this will get Overgrown Tomb. So yeah, we have to dodge Cascade for the rest of the game pretty much. We've taken 2 of them out of the deck, but there's still just like the other 2 copies. There's also still, I'm assuming, Shardless Agent. Haven't seen any white sources yet for the Exalted version. But yeah, as soon as they hit the Cascade spell, I think we're on the dead side. Bloodbraid's a nice one. I'm probably just doing that. Plus the Grist in the event that we Cascade into the other Grist. Yeah, we need to get our pressure on, so Bloodbraid's a nice hit. We just want to hit more pressure. Alright, push is not that pressure. Alright, and we currently have no creatures in our own yard. So if I ultimate the Grist, it's only going to deal 1 because Grist counts itself. So we have an attack for 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite getting there. Like, had this hit a creature like a Goyf, there's a chance we get there. Maybe now. Still have to just dodge a Cascade spell. Apparently they haven't found it yet, unless it's the instant speed one. That is a run in 6. So does that change anything? We now have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Puts you to 1. It's so close. I mean, I think it's probably worth playing it and pinging them though, right? Because if they have the Shardless Agent, we'll still just win, right? Because we'll get in for 5, ultimate for another 1, ping you for another 1. And then if they Shardless Agent to put everything into play at sorcery speed, we get to untap and ping them for the last point. I mean, I think I'll still just lead on casting the Red and 6. We only have one red source, so if they've got like a force or something, we kind of get boned. Brazen Borrower could also mess up this. So, I mean, we have to get really, really lucky, but I think that was always the case game 1. Alright, force. Lead on attack. So you're at 3. Is there any reason whatsoever to minus the grist here? I guess it opens up Bone Crusher Giant and Stomping Ground as additional outs. I think I am just going to ultimate the grist here to literally deal 1 point of damage. Because if they draw Brazen Borrower, we still get to kill them because 2 things connect. And it also opens up 4 additional outs. Because if I plus it here, I no longer have access to the ultimate line, which means I won't necessarily have a creature in play unless I get lucky and mill 1. Lose 1 life. We get to sacrifice the Peatland to get an additional look. I think this is correct. Yes, Living End does bring back the grist. That's true. I'm not sure how relevant it will be at that stage though, because they'll just have way more stuff in play than we do. I believe I've tracked their hand correctly. I think the Steam Vents is in hand, but I could be wrong. Alright. We still just need to dodge it. I mean, if they hit it, we have a couple outs. Ren and 6 also now an out that they've fetched. I guess they're just trying to take a card out of their deck, but they've also given us more cards that work. Did we somehow get there? Wow. Deal. Well, said we needed to get lucky. Got lucky. Alright, Void Mirror is going to be excellent. Nile Spellbomb is going to be good. Leyline of the Void going to be good. I think we like Ashiok. As long as they're not like cycle, and then untap and cascade, Ashiok should be fine. Brutality can take the cascade spells, but it feels like it's not going to be too great. I for sure want to, I think, just take out the 1-for-1 removal spells. Like, they can maybe give me fight after they've Living Ended, but I think I need to, I think my odds of beating Living End are much better before they've cast the card. So let's take out the Terminates, I think take out the Fatal Pushes. Keep all the Planeswalkers. Honestly, Bone Crusher, the Stomp half not really doing anything. I guess it does kill Brazen Borrower, but it's looking like for the most part just gonna be one of my clocks. Honestly, this doesn't really look like a Grist matchup. It was good as a clock in that last game, but not super stellar otherwise. And I guess the Lightning Bolts are worse because their primary function is a removal spell. But I mean, I guess now their function is go to face. But I think Brutality is just going to be better than Bolt because Brutality can at least kill, or can at least remove an instant or sorcery from their hand. So this looks like the way I might configure it. You like the list? Glad to hear. And for those just joining, I have no opinion on Ragavan yet. I just haven't been able to get my hands on any. Alright, well, we've got Thoughtseize to protect our sideboard card. That feels like it's got to be a keep. And the main deck ways they have to deal with this would be stuff like the Brazen Borrower. So if I see that, I may just have to take it immediately, pretty much. I don't foresee needing to play around Blood Moon, but I guess it's relatively free. Like if I get Swamp here, I have 2 green sources and a red source. So I guess as long as it's free, I might as well go ahead and do it. Like if my hand were more marginal mana situation wise, I probably just wouldn't play around it. But this hand makes it pretty free, so why not? This just means I can't cast like Ren and 6 on turn 2, which doesn't feel like it's going to be super important anyway. Like we've already got the dream curve pretty much lined up. Like this hand feels like it's got to be the actual nuts. Forcing it though, interesting. All right, you've pitched a Brazen Borrower. Interesting. Do I just slam it? I feel like I just slam it. I mean, if they've got it, they've got it. It sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if I'm not casting it now, it makes the rest of my curve really awkward. And I'm aware of the nombo between Bloodbraid and Void Mirror, but assuming the Void Mirror does its job, I'll happily just have a 3-2 with haste for 4. Yeah, and they forced a Thoughtseize instead of this, which was really weird. What could they have possibly been protecting? Like, I was worried about literally the unsummon card, and they cycled it out. They forced pitching it. So I don't know what they could be protecting. Maybe it's Blood Moon. Alright, Ingot Chewer makes a lot of sense. Maybe they were protecting that. This is a permanent answer as opposed to the Brazen Borrower, which is only an answer once. Goyf is a really good find. I think I'm going to go Goyf, because then next turn I get to just start chaining Bloodbraids. It's unlikely to work, but if they have the Cascade spell, they're just going to start cascading. Alternatively, I could just Liliana and discard the Tarmogoyf, because if they then cascade and hit the living end, I'll have a creature in play. But it doesn't really square up versus their flyers anyway, so I think my best route to victory here is hope they don't have it and just go pressure after pressure after pressure. Missed a land. Wow. Alright, well, I guess I'm just going to go Bloodbraid again, mainly because it's the most mana efficient thing I can do, and maybe I hit another good sideboard card. Come on, another Void Mirror. Inquisition's good too. If they only have one Cascade spell, we get to take it. They've got 2. So, which one's better for them? I guess Shardless Agent is another creature, so I'll take the Shardless Agent. Although Violent Outburst is the instant speed version, but I guess I also have Collected Brutality in the deck. So taking Shardless Agent means if I draw exactly Brutality, I get to take their other one. All the other discard takes either copy anyway, so I think I'll take the Agent. Also takes an Artifact. I guess Artifact was in the yard already. And then we're just gonna hope they don't hit a land, right? I mean, if they don't hit a land, we do just win. Bloodbraid is an additional 3 points. So no land and we win. What's that as a swamp? It is a promo swamp. It was a secret lair that was gifted to me, I believe. Alright, so they do have Petty Theft, so they do get to unsummon something and not just die. But they'll go to 2, which means even if they draw the land and Cascade, we have various burnouts. Or we can just flip a burn spell off of this and make it easy. We did take the bolt out, so Liliana. You're not gonna not cast it. It's literally free to do so. And I guess I will plus. I mean, it feels pretty free to do so. It'll at least get my Goyf in play. I guess we get to attack first, huh? Yeah, Secret Lair, Seb McKinnon. That sounds right. So they'll Petty Theft Tarmogoyf and then hope to draw a land, but they'll go to 2, which means all of our burn spells are live outs. We have Brutality in the deck, we have 1 Lightning Bolt in the deck, and we've got 2 Bone Crushers in the deck, so those would be our burnouts. So Brazen Borrower has been used. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just ditch a Liliana. Like, I could have maybe kept the Liliana, because then if they do get to Cascade, I get to Liliana Edict, but I'm still just not beating the onboard, so it doesn't really matter. So we're hoping they don't hit a land here. That's what we're hoping for. They're probably roughly 50% to do it. And I guess the cycle means they didn't hit it. Wow. Alright, well. Better lucky than good, I suppose. Match 3. Hope everyone's having a good day today. On this, what is it, Tuesday? I guess on the note of the swamp, there are 2 in the secret lair, and they're actually a little bit different. I'm told that one of them is oil painting, and the other one is digital. Not sure which is which, if that's the case. Like, this one's lighter and has a bird in it. The trees are also a bit different. Bottom one is oil painted. I mean, you could convince me either way, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I guess like the base of the tree of the big tree on this one looks like it could be digital. Whereas this one looks a lot harder to be digital, but I mean, I guess it could go either way. Let's go first. M-Boy. Well, if we knew what fetch line were on top, this hand would be the nuts, but for similar reasons why we mulligan game 1, match 1 hand, can't really keep. This is better. So we get to bottom, I guess just the Bloodbraid here? Is that crazy? We get to Inquisition on 1. Bottoming a land seems nonsensical when I'm trying to hit the Bloodbraid. And I think Bone Crusher is going to be important because it's our only source of creature interaction. So I think that has me just bottoming the Bloodbraid. Because like we really want to do something on turn 2 if it's not stomping. So I think I'm just keeping 3 lands, 3 spells. Yeah, you can ask your artist, buddy. I'd be interested to know if they've got any input. Alright, so this means we can't run in 6 on turn 2, but we've got plans otherwise. Ooh, Pestermite. So maybe this is a kind of Kiki Chord pile? So Utopia Sprawl is their accelerant, right? I guess I just take that. Yeah, let's take their 1-drop, punch a hole in the curve. And then next turn I will Overgrown Tomb for a Voidwalker, which conveniently never gets blocked by a Wall of Blossoms or an Ice Fang. Alright, and Breeding Pool was the draw, so still operating with perfect information. I guess I'll just shock. I guess the benefit of just getting other Overgrown Tomb would be that... Actually, there is no benefit. I was going to say, like, if I draw a Ren in 6, I don't have to fetch shock to have something to buy back. But that's kind of going to be the case no matter what. So let's just shock this. Cast the Voidwalker. Say go. So now if they Vista, that'll get exiled into the Voidwalker. There's the wall. Liliana? Hey, perfect, perfect. Alright, so this is looking like a pretty easy Liliana. I guess I'm just gonna plus. I mean, my 2 creatures attack past this really easily. The thing is, though, the edicting gets worse as long as they've got a wall insulating whatever they've got going. But I mean, also plussing from their hand with the Voidwalker in play is pretty exciting. I think I'm going plus and just trying to eat their hand before they assemble whatever combo they're intending on assembling. And then obviously I'll ditch the Verdant. So these will be our Voidwalker cards over here. Hipster says the oil painted is the darker one with less detail. Okay. They discarded Kiki Jiki. Or we get to cast a Kiki Jiki for free if we want. Make some Bone Crushers. That's the combo right there. Just make a bunch of Voidwalkers. If we find other Voidwalker, that'd be really funny. Some 549 is oil and 119 is digital. Good to know. There's the Vista. Push is an interesting one. So now I may just want to Edict with the Liliana, because again, as long as they have creatures in play, the Liliana edicts do get weaker. But I mean, I also just have 2 removal spells in hand, so maybe it's possible that it just straight doesn't matter, and we should just continue plussing. I guess I get to attack first. That's pretty free considering we've got Shadow. Like, end of turn, they might just Pestermite, tap down just any land, in which case I'll tap that land to stomp it. Yeah, let's just... I guess I do want to go up, but Edicting feels so attractive here. It also feels like it's going to force their Pestermite play, which also feels good. And I want this Edict to be worth something. I really don't think we're reasonably getting up to Ultimate, so let's Edict, I think. Both the cards in my hand, I think, are worth something. Also, they do have things like Chord and probably Eldritch Evolution. Alright, so I'm going to push this because we can't Fatal Push a Pestermite without Revolt, which we don't have. Voidwalker doing a decent job this game. You play Lightning Bolt? I guess they have to get a basic with the Vista. Sure. So their hand is Pestermite +2. Yeah, just untap. Like, there's a consideration to stomping them just so I don't have to go Hellbent. I think I'm leading on attack because if they wanna flash in a Pestermite here, then I'll get to kind of just do it all. Like, I get to stomp the Pestermite, Inquisition them, then plus Liliana. So I still think Stomp is going to be worth more than a random card in their hand. So I would like to plus the Liliana and probably just discard the Inquisition. So like the 2 cases here either look like I'm Hellbent versus 1 card of their choice. Or I guess not of their choice, I get to Inquisition them. Or I hold up the Stomp. I think I want to hold up the Stomp because they're going to have to pressure the Liliana if I don't. So let's just plus discard Inquisition. Oh, do I actually get to do it all? Oh, well, now that I've plussed, I don't, I suppose, because this is a sorcery. Oh, it's collected company. That's not good for me. I guess I get to stomp one of those. They're just trying to get some info before discarding. Magus and Bird. Alright, well, I guess I'll let them discard a card before they have the information that I'm stomping something. I don't even have to stomp something here. I'm gonna assume they're keeping Pestermite. No? Okay. So, by stomping this, I get to guarantee that Liliana stays around. Yeah, let's just do it now. It doesn't make their mana any worse. And if they play counter spells, I want to make sure this resolves. And like I'm stomping end of turn almost no matter what, because I want this Liliana to start being asymmetrical. Ice Fang is annoying. I mean, Voidwalker is just kind of pushing past all of this, which is nice. At a minimum, we get to play Bone Crusher next turn, even if we find a land. So we want their last card to not be Collected Company. I guess we get to find out. Edict thing not really worth a whole lot. Inquisition not worth anything as long as they've got one card in hand. No Collected Company, please. What is this? Oh, it is a company? Oh, it's Exarch. I guess they get to tap Voidwalker, so maybe I should have attacked first. I could sacrifice it and be able to cast Kiki Jiki. Kiki Jiki doesn't actually attack right now, though. I could cast Company, but there's just probably not enough hits. How many hits are there? We've got 2 copies of Grist, 1 Bone Crusher, 2 more Voidwalkers, all of the Tarmogoyfs, just 9. That's not very many. Yeah, I guess I just let this happen. This attacker has just got to be better than any other attacker we could possibly assemble. Here's a Bone Crusher. I guess if they have another copy of Kiki Jiki in the deck, they could just draw it and kill me. We've got 1 exiled, so unless they have multiple Kikis and they draw 1, that'd be an unfortunate way to lose. But it's not a way I can currently compete with. This doesn't fly, right? Yeah, doesn't fly. I think the opponent learned a lesson today. Only Pestermite flies. Alright, so Teamer Kiki shift. Or, not shift, Pestermite combo. The sideboard is not that good. 4th doesn't really do much. They don't really have any graveyard type stuff. I guess if they're playing Chord, Ashiok could do something. That's about it. I guess like Spellbomb's kind of not really free. We didn't see anything out of the yard. What am I taking out? Versus combo, I like shaving off of the top. Honestly, everything seems good. Maybe Voidwalker is not super strong, but Voidwalker did just look good because it attacked past all of their walls, all of their Ice Fangs, etc. Honestly, Kolaghan's command is not looking strong. It's just like the most expensive removal spell, and they're really not in the business of killing our stuff. I feel like Brutality might just be better. It takes company. Yeah, I mean, the rest of the sideboard just really isn't that exciting. I mean, combo typically is already a pretty good matchup. We just have to be careful of Magus of the Moon, which we know the opponent is playing. We've got some Bolts and Bone Crushers to get rid of those easily. even through the Blood Moon. Yeah, we got a keeper. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 curve, thanks to Bone Crusher being both a 2 and a 3. Obviously, Thoughtseize is great. Question is, though, is like, do I actually want to cast the Thoughtseize into a Veil of Summer? Probably not. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I might just save the Thoughtseize for a turn that's closer to the combo. I mean, there's not many 2-mana things that I would even want to take anyway. So, I am going to play the Foothills. Plan on getting Stomping Ground. No, let's get Overgrown Tomb. Because then this can get Mountain to start comboing this after I've already bought it back once. So yeah, we'll do Overgrown Tomb, Blackleaf Cliffs. This will probably eventually get Mountain. Also, double black on turn 2 is a thing in case I find a Voidwalker. Alright, so Overgrown Tomb. I don't think my plan has changed. Counterspell check. Sure. I mean, the Ren and 6 gets to ping that for basically free. Pendelhaven. Alright, well, I guess it's not free anymore. If we minus start in 6, I can just use Pendelhaven to save it. I guess we could then also Stomp if we really wanted to make it dead. Which, honestly, we might. This thing is just going to have Death Touch at some point. Terminate. So what I could do is hold the Terminate for a potential combo. If they're gonna plan on comboing me, though, I'm gonna have to Thoughtseize at some point sooner rather than later, because they'll just use the Veil to protect their combo when it becomes relevant. So I think I'm staying the course with the original plan, which was play the Wooded Foothills. And then I will Thoughtseize off of Blackleaf, and then this can get basic Mountain to terminate if I want, or Bone Crusher for that matter. Then we'll just hope for no Veil. This is also like the pre-collected company turn. Okay, so I could now respond with the Stomp, and if they Pendelhaven, I can then use the Ren and 6 to finish it off to at least keep the board empty into a Bloodbraid and still have Terminate left over. It's not ridiculously exciting, but I think it's the line that I meant to take. They'll use the Pendelhaven to protect, and then I'll Ren and 6 to finish it. And I want to do this now before they draw cards so they have the least info. What do you mean Ren can't? We haven't used it yet. It's hexproof from blue and black. This is red and green. Ren and 6 still works. Wait, did we use it though? I could have sworn we didn't use it. Alright, well I guess we didn't. I guess we had used it already. Could have sworn we didn't though. That's my bad. Yeah, it's not literally hexproof. It's only from blue and black. So yeah, I just doofed there. I thought we hadn't used it yet. One thing I have not done well is play around Magus. Definitely should have prioritized the swamp. Yeah, for that reason too, I suppose. Yeah, maybe I bring in the Force of Vigor now that we've seen Utopias for All and Blood Moon. Alright, well, I feel pretty dead. I definitely played this game pretty terribly. Can you close the door, please? Alright, definitely played that game pretty poorly. Alright, having seen Blood Moon and a bunch of accelerants, let's bring in the forces. It's gotta be better than something. Honestly, Grist maybe not even that great here. All their stuff has flash, and Grist doesn't really shine versus combo. Basic lands, thanks for the resub. I really appreciate it. Yep, 3 lands for 3 months for 3 colors, indeed. So I'm not gonna cut a green card because I'm already like low-ish on green cards, especially having taken out Grist. Can I even afford to take out Grist? How many greens do I have? 4, 7, 8, 9, plus the forces. That's really not a lot. I think Bloodbraid might just be better to bring in if I'm looking for another green card. This has me needing to cut 2. I think Voidwalker is good, but not great. And then Liliana also doesn't seem stellar, but probably fine if I can have it on turn 3. Let's do that. And then if I have a green card in hand that I'm not super excited about, maybe I prioritize holding it over my other spells, so that way Force can be better for longer. Yeah, I mean, we've got the curve. They've got Pestermite, Kiki Jiki, Ice Fang. That is the combo. So Ice Fang is the most annoying in terms of my Liliana being good. But if I'm just looking at Liliana from the standpoint of it's going to attack our hands aggressively and never really get the chance to Edict, then maybe I can just ignore the Ice Fang and take a combo piece. I don't think I'm taking the Kiki. That's the thing that we're farthest from. It's definitely either Ice Fang or Pestermite. I'm actually kind of wanting to just take the Ice Fang because it's the earliest thing. Could definitely bite me, but any interaction that I find is going to be good versus the rest of their hand. Also, Ice Fang drawing a card on top of being annoying is also annoying. Alright, there goes the Wooded Foothills. So literally any interaction would be great. Alright, not that interaction. I guess I'll just play this Tarmogoyf here. And I am going to be at least a little bit concerned about Blood Moon, so I guess I can get my basic forest now. Sure, why not? Next turn we're getting a Black Source for sure, so probably Blood Crypt in case I just like draw Blackleaf Cliffs or something. Show me the Spell Snare. Right, so maybe they're off the Blood Moon plan. I guess they do have access to their colors already. So in the event, they get to counter my Planeswalker, I think I want to use the Planeswalker first, because then Goyfgrow is having added Planeswalker. And then Bloodstained Mire is strictly better fetch because I've already got Forest. So I'll use the Verdant to do it, and I'll get Blood Crypt, like I outlined last turn. And then having drawn Wrenn and 6, I think I'm just going to pitch my other land, because I'm going to have all the land drops I could want anyway. Who knows, maybe I actually need the Force for something. They ditch Forest. Alright, well, I mean, we've kind of just had the curve that we were looking for. Not out of the woods yet. There's still plenty of annoying things that could happen. You drew an Ice Fang. Brutal. I mean, Renin 6 gets to just ping it down so our Liliana can continue ticking away unperturbed. Just fetch now, do nothing. Yeah. You know, like upkeep something. If this doesn't resolve, it'll be unfortunate. But I don't wanna go out on my main phase without my red mana. You know, I could also just Edict this, but I think I'm using the Renin 6 to kill this, so that way the Edict can maybe kill the Pestermite next turn. Because we do get to plus it to 4. Let's just see if this resolves. It does. Okay, so kill that. Plus this. So now if they flash in Pestermite, we've got 2 ways to kill it just on board. I guess they could kill the Renin 6. And then if they can play another creature, I maybe can't Edict anymore. So we're in the danger zone, but not super dead yet. Imperial Recruiter is something we're worried about. Just being a multi for one that would be good versus Liliana as well. Alright, so Renin 6 down. Not the best Renin 6. Maybe I should have just plussed it, to be honest. There's the Recruiter. Not what I wanted to see. I mean, we're still just fine if we find actual any removal spell. Because then we get to Edict onto an empty board again with the Goyfin play that's hard for them to deal with. So like any removal spell, and I think we're doing fine. But I mean, this could have been a Collective Brutality, right? No, I brought all those in. Yeah, I mean, had I plussed this, what happens? I guess they can't just kill it immediately, which is something. Yuck. So if I Edict now, they just get to kill the kill the Liliana, which isn't good. Brutal. What's up, Insect? Not gonna not use the Liliana. Definitely using it. Which I guess means I will just ditch the Force, play the lands, then Bloodbraid's a live draw. They discarded Kiki. Interesting. So I could hold back the Goyf so that the Liliana doesn't go to 2. But I feel like I want to get my hits in when I can. Like, there's no way they block. I'll still keep the card in hand as a bluff. It's pretty free. If I draw Bloodbraid, I just play the land anyway. Losing my voice. Gotta get some water. Yep. Yep. So they don't have the snow yet. Digging for a land, I suppose. Didn't hit it. Come on, Bloodbraid. Bloodbraid. Voidwalker. I guess that's fine. It'll do a good job at continuing to attack past a bunch of stuff. If I Edict with the Liliana, they're definitely just sacrificing this. But I do want to have the Voidwalker in play before I sacrifice, so I guess I'll just lead on an attack. They might just block because they're afraid of getting too low. Yeah, okay. So then I get to play Voidwalker and then Edict again. Plussing doesn't really do a lot because considering that the Voidwalker can't actually block. So I think I'm just going to use it as the Edict and empty my hand. Get something under here. I mean, I could maybe cast an Imperial Recruiter off of the Voidwalker and get something interesting. Oh, they've got Liliana draw a card. Brutal. Did I get Monkey yet? Nope, Mana Trader still does not have it. Need my opinion about Ragavan. Do you think we need it? I don't know how insane it is yet. I just have not been able to get my hands on it. That's the red source. We know they're playing multiple Kikis as well, so I really need to find a targeted way to interact here. Come on, deck. Does not count. You're hearing Card Hoarder hasn't had any supply issues? Must be nice, I guess. Yeah, I have not had any luck. Tapping the Goyf. Yeah. And then I'm going to keep the card in hand as a bluff. I don't think I'll need 5 mana for any reason. I guess the only reason would be Stomp plus Bone Crusher. I mean, if they've got combo, I think they just jam it here because there's only one card in hand that they don't know about. So they should probably just jam. And if they've got it, they've got it. You got it. Brutal. Yeah, I think I drew pretty below average, but not even terribly. I definitely could have used that Run and 6 differently. Yeah, I mean, the issue is like people just don't have incentive to really open the packs on Magic Online, so there's not really more supply being created. I mean, I've drafted Modern Horizons 2 once or twice, and it's a fun format. Might do it again sometime soon. Maybe open a Ragavan. Yeah, drafts do add supply, but the issue is drafts are also pretty expensive. They're, I believe, 25 tickets, so it's not like the price of a regular draft. The packs on Magic Online are still more expensive just as they would be in paper. So not very many people are drafting it. It's not like one's firing every other 30 seconds, you know? It's like once every, like, 30 minutes. That's not a very significant influx of new stuff, you know? We're pretty good at winning die rolls. House of Mana. I feel like I recognize this name. This is a keep. So, if I want to have Bolt on turn 1, I could just play Basic Mountain. I could also just play Verdant and then Fetch Shock if I have to. I guess I'll just lead on the Verdant. I guess if we're playing against a Blood Moon deck, then there's some merit to wanting to be able to get a basic of some kind. They've mulliganed to 4. Oh, are they on Tron? House of Mana? That would be funny. It would make sense. You said you snagged a set of Borderless for 45. That's pretty good. Is it Amulet? They mulled to 4 and played Urza Saga. Okay, it is Amulet. Alright, so we can't get Overgrown Tomb. We've got both of them. I guess let's get... To most painlessly play Liliana, I'll want to get a Blood Crypt. That also lets me have the Bolt available while playing Overgrown Tomb tapped this upcoming turn. Obviously, it's like a thing to do with 2 mana would be great. No. Guess we're playing Overgrown Tomb. And then next turn I'll Blackleaf Cliffs. I unfortunately just don't have a way to pressure them even off of their mulligan. I guess Liliana can pressure the hand and maybe work towards an ultimate. Jeez. Alright, well, that's the plan. Can you take him to the other room at least?
Is your better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing a thing here. I can't have all the noise.
Tell you that she brought cupcakes.
Okay. Alright, let's pressure the hand.
You should come and say thank you at some point. In here.
And then I guess just discard our excessive lands. Oh, they're just off it. So I mean, if they had a bounce land or a Titan, they could have just drawn the other one. So I guess they had neither. So Ashiok will be good. Voidmere is interesting because it could stop Summoner's Pact, but that's about it. Force can kill the Amulet, which feels pretty important. And this is an additional answer to Summoner's Pact. The pushes seem pretty weak, but they're some of our only good ways to deal with the 3 mana 2/4 that Prismatic Omens. Grist seems like it's going to be a bit on the slow side here. It's just not great versus combo, but I think it's got a good spot versus about everything else. Yeah, I can't really cut any more green cards though, because again, I need the forces to be good. The discard feels like it's got to be good. Bolt maybe not at its best. Terminate also kills Dryad, which is the card I was attempting to name earlier. The opponent's graveyard just really doesn't seem that relevant. Maybe I just cut the Voidwalkers. So is Voidmere and or Brutality better than something else? I think it's not better than the discard. I kind of need the pushes to deal with the Dryad. Same with the Terminates. I can't cut too many of my early clocks. I think I'm just going to submit this. Yeah, I mean, Inquisition into Liliana is good. We don't have a hate piece, though, so it's like, is this going to be fast enough? I honestly don't think it is. I think this is a mulligan. We have no early clock, no early way to interact other than Inquisition, and they're on the play. This hand, I feel like, just doesn't get there a high percentage enough of the time. Well, I'll do it again. Yeah, this is kind of like the first hand that I had. At least this way has a way to deal with Dryad and an Amulet, but we have to bottom 2. Keeping Thoughtseize, keeping Liliana, keeping probably the 2 fetches. So it's like, what mix of these 3 am I shipping? Guess I'm gonna ship a land and a Kolagon's command. I like need to be able to kill the Dryad. I guess I can edict the Dryad, but if they have multiple creatures, it's really bad for me. This also kills Amulet, but that's about the only good use. After they've already got a bunch of value off of it. It's not exciting, but I think this is the 5. Reveal the tracker, okay. Alright, well, Goyf's a good one. That is the pressure we were missing. I guess we'll get Overgrown Tomb first. Because if I draw another land that isn't a fetch, I can then painlessly play Tarmogoyf on the following turn. So they've got Azusa, Abundant Harvest, and some lands. I kind of want to just take the tracker. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the tracker. Like, I've got the push for the first thing, but I, like, kind of have to kill both of these. And tracker's the one that gets them cards on top of having a good effect, which is drawing out a removal spell. So they wanted creature and they got Dryad. So they're going to bounce a forest to their hand. So, I mean, we're going to play Tarmogoyf uncontested, and if we can then Liliana their thing, we'll be good. Alright, we found the land. So now let's plan the mana. I guess I want another black source, obviously, for Liliana, and I obviously need a red source. So I can have one be a swamp and one be a stomping ground. Or I can just get 2 basics. My mana is not great if I get 2 basics. I think I'm going to have Stomping Ground and Swamp be the 2 lands. I guess Mountain and Blood Crypt are also options. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is get the Stomping Ground. I guess getting Mountain first is actually best, because then if I draw Blackleaf Cliffs, like my whole mana situation is just overall less painful. So I'll just get the Mountain first. Then play the Tarmogoyf. So all in all, this mulligan to 5 is kind of working out. No potent sideboard card, but still Inquisition Thoughtseize Liliana. So castle, map, rural turf, bouncing, forest. Oh wow. So that stops the map from searching for something like an Urza's Saga. They're going to get a lot of land drops, though. I mean, I still think Ashiok might just be more important to get down earlier. I think I am just going to get my basics. Because my life would definitely matter if they find a Valakut. I'm not super worried about my Ashiok getting attacked for 1. I need to start getting in for damage, I think. I mean, this could very easily be wrong, because I mean, Edicting gets worse onto a board of a few creatures. So they have many land drops now. I mean, if I find a land, they get to do it all, and that seems good. What do I think about playing Blood Moon in the side? It could be good. It's gonna really depend on how really desperate we are for land hate like that. Blood Moon does mess us up, too. So I mean, we'd have to really try to play around it, like play around our own Blood Moon. So we don't have Revolt yet. I guess I'm just gonna Liliana Edict here, and then they're pretty likely to just sacrifice the Azusa. Hope for no Veil of Summer. There's only 1 card in hand. I mean, it could pretty easily be it. If they had a Titan, they'd have just played it last turn, so I don't think plussing to get rid of their last card is particularly useful. Outside of making sure that they can't maybe top deck it and insulate something good versus the Liliana. Bone Crusher. Alright, well, definitely plussing the Liliana. I think what I want to do is lead on Thoughtseize, because if they got a spell in hand, we get to take everything. So yeah, let's lead there. It really is just 2 lands. Alright. Well, I guess I'll plus and then discard Bone Crusher. Like, I think I want to keep the Fatal Push, especially if they draw another creature here. Because if they draw another creature here, like another Dryad, I can then Edict and push and then just be way ahead. So yeah, we'll choose this. Like, I'm not really missing a clock. I don't foresee them really dealing with a clock with my own clock. Don't have Revolt yet. Feels like Valakut would be a bad draw. We want to avoid Titan, we want to avoid Valakut. If they find the Titan, we could even maybe just deal with it, because if we can Revolt, we actually can. We can Edict them, and then in response... Oh, they drew the Valakut. I was gonna say, we could Edict them, and then in response push the Dryad, so the Edict actually has to take care of the... the whatchamacallit. The Titan. But yeah, them just drawing Valakut is really bad for me. So this will enable the Revolt. But they can also search for Urza Saga now with the map. I'll let them make the decision on what they're returning first. But yeah, Valakut was really bad for me. Teleria West transmutes, gets Titan. So their hand is Selesnya, Sanctuary, Teleria West. They have the mana to do it all, right? They've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, they do get to just do it all. The thing is, though, if I don't plus the Liliana and they only make 1 plant, I can then push the plant and then Edict. If they make 2 plants, it's a lot worse for me, but I think I have to make that play. Like, if I plus the Liliana, they just discard Sanctuary and they just do it anyway. Jund, the story of being the most expensive deck in the format. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't true for a short while when Uro was still a thing. There were various 3 and 4 color and 5 color piles that were many thousands of dollars. Yeah, I mean, if I plus this, they still just have 9 mana, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's transmute plus Titan mana. I think I'm just passing. Because if they make 1 plant, I can maybe get them. But they'll see that line, right? You wait for the day when a deck is named Budget Breaker, but it costs 2,000. Let me introduce you to Legacy. So if they make 1 plant here, we're maybe okay. You mean a modern deck? Yeah. Ooh, they just got the Dryad. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we'll have Revolt again, so we could still just Fatal Push. So having kept this Fatal Push is looking good. And then in response to this trigger, we can Fatal Push so that the Valakut doesn't actually hit us again, because Valakut will be turned off. I mean, they're back on nothing. They've got just land in hand. We've got a 2-turn clock, so if they brick here, we win. They also have to put 4 mana into a pact. So we might be okay. They've got still 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So I think they still have to draw something good. It has to be basically Titan or another Dryad. I guess that this means they get to... Oh, they actually don't get to kill the Goyf. They put us to 1, is that right? Just put us to 4. Any removal spell, please? Just make it easy. Not that one. I should have been more specific, I guess. Alright, well, they have to block. And now if they draw Titan, we do just lose because they can give it haste. So we need to avoid Summoner's Pact and we need to avoid Titan. Well, that equals Titan, right? Maybe they don't have enough mana to also give it haste. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not even going to count. I'm just going to let them do the math themselves. Looks like they've got it. Yeah, they've got red, white. They can give it +2/+0. Yeah, we needed it to dodge Pact and Titan, but yeah, they got it. Brutal. They drew the combo piece on back-to-back turns when they needed to draw the combo piece, which sucks. But, I mean, it is what it is. So, is Void Mirror really worth it just for Summoner's Pact? I mean, it would have done well there. I mean, it may just be worth a shot. Maybe taking out Red and 6, which doesn't do a lot. Yeah, Voidwalker just really does not do a lot. Other than, like, we can maybe cast Titans of our own. Which would be funny. Maybe we just don't overload on mirrors. Like, it seems like it's going to be fine, but not great. Let's go first. We mulliganed to 5 that game. It was pretty impressive. Well, I don't think we can keep this either. We just don't have any pressure. We don't have any earlier interaction. This is better. We can bolt something like an Azusa. We've got an answer for the relic, the amulet. We don't actually have a green card, though. So maybe I have to just ditch the Force in hopes of getting to hit it with the Kolaghan's command in time. I mean, if I find any green card, then this can kill Amulet and a Dryad or something. Not bottoming this, not bottoming this. Not bottoming these 2 lands. I just, like, have to guarantee the Ashiok. I think I'm bottoming the Force. Doesn't feel great. Land go. They mulliganed as well, which is nice. This will get black source and I guess green source, so Overgrown Tomb. Pithing Needle. Fetch. So this is the one that does name lands, but you can't stop mana abilities. But it does stop fetching. They named Liliana of the Veil. Alright, well, the Force said, "You're stuck with me." Should you buy 1 monkey or 3 Iggies? Well, I don't like Iggy in traditional Jund. So in the context of traditional Jund, I would avoid Iggy. Alright, Ashiok. If we can just draw a green source too, that would just be another way to cast the Force. Tracker, brutal. I mean, we can Kolaghan's command the Tracker and the Needle to turn the Liliana back on. It's not the ideal use, but it is a use. That can kill Dryad. Alright, so... I mean, this is also probably one of the only good uses that I'm gonna have for Lightning Bolt. So maybe I should just use the Bolt while it's good. I think I will. Like, this has got to be, like, the only good target, whereas Kolaghan's command's gonna do something else good. Yeah, let's Bolt. I still get to just hold up the Kolaghan's command. I guess the liability here is this gets Veil of Summered. The Cheese Knight, thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. Alright, well, I see... They already have the green mana available, so if they've got the Veil, they've got the Veil. I guess you float a blue. They can't actually transmute because of the Ashiok. Yeah, and I'm gonna for sure kill the amulet before attempting to kill the Pithing Needle. I'm gonna go for it. I'll have you, I guess, discard a card. Hopefully they don't have a Bailoff, which I guess I have Terminate for. So destroy an artifact, discard a card. You'll discard, kill an artifact. I mean, if they've got the Veil, we at least still have the Force of Vigor to blow up this and whatever else we need. They discarded a Summoner's Pact, which does not look good in the face of that Ashiok. So we really need to find pressure. That's what we're missing. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Not exactly. And remember, the creature, the Dryad, is an enchantment, so Force does kill it. Alright, that's another thing that map stops. If I find a green source, I'll still just shatter these two by hard casting a Force, because assuming they get to remove the Ashiok eventually, it's bad for me. Alright, well, having drawn Liliana makes me put a higher priority on this. I'll still cast it now, although I can't activate it, because I won't have to cast it next turn. They just concede. Sick. Alright. 2 and 2. One more. Yeah, we just have so much artifact and enchantment hate. Kind of feels unfair. Yeah, Ashiok did in fact do the thing. We got the Jund Trophy Dream still alive. Remember, if you're a sub, you get access to 3 emotes now. We added a third. We got Bob, we got Bone Crusher Giant, and we got the 3-2 trophy. There's Bob. The one of my 3 emotes not currently in this video. There's the Bone Crusher, yep. Stomp, stomp. Yeah, no Bob here. Voidwalker kind of gums up the 2-drop slot. Can we Theory Craft Ragavan? Yeah, that's something we could do. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get my hands on Ragavan unless I feel like dishing out $400, which I don't feel like doing. I got bills to pay, and none of them are called Ragavan. Think of the stonks. If I get, I'm trying to think. With every sub, I get like $3. So if I get like 130 subs in the next 10 minutes, I'll get that'll all be Ragavan money. Every sub in the next 10 minutes is Ragavan money. Spoiler, I'm not gonna get there. Alright, last match of the league. Well, we are on the draw with a Hearthstone hand, mulligan. I mean, I'm gonna keep. We need a green source for this to be even remotely good. I guess I'll just bottom the one redundant thing. We've got two things that we can do already with the lands that we have. All 22 viewers donate 3 subs. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a way to do it. Urza Saga Pass. Interesting. Green source? Any fetch? Any fetch. I think there are 8 in the deck. Any of those would be excellent. Not that. I guess I'll just Blackleaf Cliffs go. Not testing Ragavan at this time, do you overlay? Honestly, yeah. Monkey. Yeah, pretty much. Interesting, interesting. Green source. Not green card, green source. You have paper copies, does that count? Unless you have a way of scanning them into Magic Online and then sending them to me? No, it doesn't count. I mean, I guess I'm gonna bolt? I guess I can't bolt. Yeah, I need to find a land. We're playing Amulet again, by the way, obviously. If I find the land, I get to bolt and stomp this thing, which is not ideal. Naming Giant, surprise. Better late than never. I do kind of just have to kill the Dryad. If they have any bounce land, they get to Titan me next turn if I don't kill this thing. I guess what I could do is use the Lightning Bolt and the Renin 6. That way I at least have a Renin 6 in play to get some land drops going next turn. That's got to be better than stomping. Alright, we are in this somehow. And then I just like have to apply pressure, so next turn I'm pretty likely to just go Goif Goif. Okay. Yeah, I guess Azusa makes you go up to 6 mana if you've got a bounce land. Thought I yielded. Yield. So this is going to be Titan plus haste. I mean, if they don't set up for second Titan and I find something like a Terminate, then I'm in it. But if they set up for second Titan, I'm dead. Give your Azusa +2/+0 and haste. Show me the Teleria West. That'll do it. So, I think we're just doing the same sideboard plan as last time. Ashiok's in, Forces in, 2 Void Mirrors in, and then take out a Bolt, the Void Walkers, a Bloodbraid off of the top, and the Grists. Submit. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying for that 3-2. I mean, I think I expect to lose game 1 versus Amulet anyway, but it's always nice to steal it. Makes the job much simpler going forward. How have we liked Force of Vigor? It's been good. It's done pretty much exactly what we were hoping it would do, which is disenchant 2 things. I've seen it twice and it's been good twice. I would like to, however, have more green cards to pair with it. We're not super high on them. On green cards, that is. In fact, maybe I should just bring in another green card. Oh, well, I guess it's too late. Let's go first. Whoa, why is my hand so big? Interesting. Well, this looks like it's a keep. We've got the force for the important stuff. We've got Liliana if we can get there. Yeah, let's keep. I could fetch shock on 1 to do this. I don't actually have a thing to do on turn 2, so I think I will still just fetch shock the Overgrown Tomb and then play a Forgotten Cave the next turn. And then if we want, we've got the Bloodbraid to pitch to the Force. Which, as someone pointed out to me, this does actually kill the Saga because it's an enchantment. That does leave us without pressure, so we'll need to find it at some point. They have mulliganed. Yeah, I mean, with Thoughtseize Liliana hand, any mulligan that the opponent does is amplified. So, pretty excited about the mulligan. Do it again, do it again. Alright. So, let's Overgrown Tomb, cast the Thoughtseize. They've got Amulet and Pact. I guess we're taking Amulet. We do have the answer to Amulet, but I think I want to just have this as a backup answer. Their hand's really not that good otherwise. Remember, we can still kill Saga with the Force. Yeah, we just need a black source over like 2 draw steps, and there with the Forgotten Cave out of the deck, literally I think it's only Stomping Ground is not a black source. Is there another? I guess. Okay, so basic Mountain, Stomping Ground, and basic Forest. So 19 of our 21 remaining lands produce black. Come on, don't make me sweat. Don't make me sweat. Would have been better to take the pack knowing we had Saga and Amulet to cover the Force. I don't think so, mainly because we're just going to draw Inquisition. Obviously, that's not the reason why. But like I mentioned before, I like this being a backup answer. Because Amulet is really a problem, so if I have to blow the Force now and they just draw another one over the course of the next few turns, it gets a lot worse for me. So they drew Explore and also the Pact. Not even super clear what I want to take here. Like they're pretty far from a pact being good. I kind of just want to take the thing that ramps them. Let's do that, and then play this. Would really enjoy drawing a Blackleaf Cliffs or something of that nature. So my guess would be they Saga here, so that way next turn they can just start making stuff. Ooh, we did it. I guess we drew another green card, so I'm going to upkeep it in response to this trigger because I don't want them making a thing. That's what I got. Bounce of Alikut. Land. Perfect. A turn too late, but still good. And I think I'm ditching other Liliana. Like, there's an argument to just really going after their hand. But if I find the land, I get to cast Bloodbraid, and pressure is also another thing that I'm missing. So I think this is probably just better. So they've got Valakut, Forest in hand. Valakut in hand. We get to Edict that. Alright, so the last card is Unknown. That's a land moving forward, so I still think I want to just Edict this anyway. So let's Edict for now. Then we can play Wrenn and 6, buy back a Verdant. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Bajuka Bog. Yep. We still get our land to stick around. Blood Crypt. Fatal Push. Fatal Push actually might be useful if we want to continue plussing the Liliana. So I think I'm going to buy back a land and then just discard that. You'll ditch Crumbling Vestige. Alright, we've got our pressure. They don't even have Titan mana either, so we're looking pretty good. Sure, you'll discard, shock you. So basically just a shock. Not super ideal. Any threat would have been great. But this is fine too. Bounce land is dangerous. Because now they could just draw Titan next turn. I guess we get to plus the land out of hand. Still buying back land. I mean, now I wonder if I want to just discard the push. Because now I get to both stomp and play Bone Crusher. Put the opponent to 10. That doesn't have me killing them next turn anyway, though. It's still pretty close. What I think I'm going to do here is still just plus. And I'll probably just play the Bone Crusher as a 4/3. Keeping the push around in case of a Dryad. So if they find a Summoner's Pact or a Titan, we could be in trouble. We'll have the Edict, but they could always make a plant. But we've got the Wrenn and 6 for the plant, so they'd have to double plant. But even then, we've got the Fatal Push. So we're actually doing okay. Even through a Titan, it looks like. Because we've held the push. Would obviously still love to just dodge it. Like that. Alright, next game. Well, that forest looked pretty ideal. Also made the taking of the first amulet look very good, which was something that came up as a question in chat. Do I want to bring in another green card for the force? You don't understand why keeping the Fatal Push is useful? In the event of a Dryad. Like, if they Dryad play a land with the Valakut, we could get bolted unnecessarily. And like the lands are already so extra that the lands just straight don't matter. Keeping the spell seems really free, especially when we could have upside, even though the upside is unlikely. And then also having the push would have done well in that last turn there, because like I mentioned, had they top decked Titan, they could have played Titan, gotten Colony Garden, copied Colony Garden with like a Vesuva, and then we would need 2 removal spells so the Edict can get through. So the push was allowing that as well. So the push did a lot of things in hand as opposed to just discarding it. I think the only change I would really consider is bringing in a green card for something. But it doesn't seem great. Like, I feel like everything else just might be better on average. Maybe Bone Crusher just isn't strong enough. But then I'm going lower on threats. So I guess if I'm gonna take out a Bone Crusher with the idea of I'm going lower on threats, the green card I would bring in as a threat. Sure, why not? If you know they'd draw like that, you would not have asked. Fair enough. Hindsight's 20/20, right? Yeah, so I'm still not sure how great Void Mirror is. Yeah, this hand's on the painful side. We've got the force for the problematic permanence, though. They do have it. I don't think I'm forcing right now. If they play something like a Dryad, we could really get them. We drew the fetch land, too. Alright, well now if they've got a Zeusa, we can Fatal Push, which is good, too. It's unfortunate that I'm having to pitch my only threat to do this. They just don't have anything. Okay. I guess I'll fetch, but fetching takes down Revolt, so it's not literally free. Would love to play the Goyf here, but I'm only going to be afforded that if I find another green card. There it is. And maybe that's the Bloodbird I brought in, just as a green card. So that's exciting if that's the case. Alright, so play the Peatland, play the Tarmogoyf. Any green card was a really happy draw. So glad we hit it. They can't quite get up to Titan mana yet with Amulet, although Amulet is going to afford them some extra mana. I don't know if it's greedy to not try to just get the 2-for-1. Or, sorry, like 2-for-1 myself. If they've got a Dryad, it's so good for me. This doesn't get them up to Titan yet, so I think this is okay. Okay, so we're going to get 2 things. So force this and this, pitch a green card. Okay. So they still get to Titan next turn, right? Because this is 2, 3, 4, 5. Any land is the 6th mana. I think we're still just going to cast Liliana here. Plus ditch a Peatland, keep my Kolaghan's Command. So if they Titan, they can't Titan with haste, which means that maybe we get to, if they get plants, kill the plants and then Edict the Titan. So that does not equate to a Titan. Does equate to a Titan next turn, though. Renin 6. Renin 6 buys back, I guess, just something for us to discard. Sure. I guess we maybe even want to just discard the Kolaghan's Command. The big concern is if they do Titan and then get ways to like the same as last game. Like if they make a plant and then copy to make another plant, we're gonna need to have multiple ways to kill stuff. So I think it's probably still just discard the Mire here, keep the push available. The downside would be if they play another Dryad, I can't Revolt to kill it immediately, but I can always Revolt to kill it and hold up Kolaghan's Command next turn, so I think we're still just going up and ditching land. If they've got like Tracker plus Fetch Land, then they'll maybe get an extra card off of being able to fetch before I can kill it. All right, smack for 5 again. So they get to Titan, but again, no haste is a big deal. Another amulet could change that. And they just straight scoop. Cool. So we end up 2-0ing Titan off of the back of Force of Vigor. And we brought in Force of Vigor in another match as well, and it was quite good there too. So all in all, a really impressive showing of Force of Vigor. And I guess as a part of I guess I've already kind of jumped into the deck tech / wrap up that I do at the end of the recording. I think I would like to add another green card or two just to make sure Force is reliably castable for free. In the past with similar configurations, it's been hard to cast Force for free. And we saw even in that last game of match 5, it was a sweat because I wanted to be able to play the Tarmogoyf, which I would not have been able to had I not found another green card. So kind of lucky there. So maybe I can increase the odds of Force being good if I can maybe squeeze another green card or two in there. But it's pretty marginal. The rest of the sideboard looked great. Void Mirror was obviously in for Summoner's Pact, but it was primarily in here as a consideration for the various Cascade decks, and we did see one of those Cascade decks. It did get killed, but I mean it necessitated an answer, so that much was good. All in all, just a pretty solid sideboard. I think we brought in everything except Leyline of the Void, and everything worked as intended. Grist has continued to be good. It hasn't been fantastic, but it's been very solidly good. So I still think this card is like a solid 6 or 7 out of 10, where like 8 would be like you really should be playing this, and the 9 would be busted, and 10 needs to be banned now. But I think this is just a well-designed, solidly good card. It doesn't seem oppressive. It doesn't seem excellent, but I mean there are a lot of game states that this can completely take over on its own. Ren and 6 obviously continuing to be great for over a year now. A whole other Modern Horizon set has come out, and Ren and 6 has been good through and through. Bone Crusher has continued to really be excellent. I feel like this is kind of like the unsung hero of the deck. It's just continued to be good, being both interaction and a solid clock. And then Liliana obviously still just excellent. Double Black always kind of a liability versus the various Blood Moon strategies that kind of always exist. And Voidwalker kind of plays more into that into getting soft locked. But having lots of graveyard decks being prevalent right now makes Voidwalker even more enticing. And I don't think we can ever just not play these out of fear of only Blood Moon. We can always like try to fetch around the Blood Moon, but without overthinking it too much, I think the double black spells are still just really strong. And the Voidwalker has been a pretty nice addition. I think Voidwalker is going to continue to be good. As long as the format doesn't become slanted towards aggro decks, because Voidwalker seems pretty weak versus those. But being an unblockable clock versus something like mid-range and control seems pretty powerful. And obviously being main deck graveyard hate versus a deck that's otherwise really soft to the graveyard type stuff is pretty nice. I guess I still have liked the split of fatal pushes to bolts that I've got. Push is pretty important for killing glyphs, shadows, and really just about anything. And whereas Bolt doesn't always kill glyphs and shadows, but Bolt goes upstairs, so they're a little give and take battle. I still think 2 Thoughtseize is better over playing 3 or even 4 Thoughtseize, maxing out Inquisitions, because Burn is pretty popular right now, and Is It Prowess is pretty popular right now, and not losing 2 life is pretty important there. And also, big mana combo, things like Tron and Eldrazi Tron are on the downtick right now, so Thoughtseize becomes less important. And I guess the one last thing that I want to point out before I round out this recording is that Terminate has still felt like the premier removal spell of the format. Obviously, comparing it to things like Assassin's Trophy, Dreadbore, and Abrupt Decay. I still think when Storming Entity is such a big percentage of the format, being able to kill that is pretty important. without giving the opponent a land, no less, when the opponents who get the land can so easily exploit that extra mana against us. I think really not giving the opponent a land with trophy and being able to actually hit it, as would not be the case versus something with something like Abrupt Decay, means that Terminate is kind of the perfect middle ground. I've really liked the Terminate, and it's continued to be solid. I think its prowess is less obvious when Eldrazi Tron is on a downturn like it currently is. But if the predominant threats that we're expecting to need to be dealt with are still just like 90+% creatures, then I think Terminate is still just going to be aeons better than something like Assassin's Trophy. Because like, even if we've got Trophy versus something like Mono Green Tron Game 1, more often than not, when you don't have access to like an actual Haymaker sideboard card, you're just going to lose anyway. Because like the deck's that entire purpose is to assemble Tron is just going to assemble the Tron again. So I think Terminate's still probably my chosen / recommended 2-mana removal spell of choice. So that's going to be it for this recording. Thanks all on the YouTube for watching up to this point, and if you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe. They are 2 free great ways to support what I do. And until next time, I hope you have a good one, and Jund them out.